In the World Wide Web, the nonsensical and illogical comments of the underworld are hunted by the detectives of the Dusty Comments email crime unit. These are their stories.
Grace and peace, everybody. We're back. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, you know what we're about to do. Now, I know this said email crime unit. There was no email crime that was done. It's actually a very encouraging email from a new subscriber and new commenter in the chat, Cali Girl, who actually lives in Altadena, California. So, our prayers for her and her family, because they definitely are experiencing the devastation of the forest fires. I wanted to do this video to kind of give all of us a opportunity to kind of understand a little bit about Altadena, because it does have a lot of history, has a lot of tradition, a lot of culture, all that kind of good jazz. And at this current moment, sadly, it has been completely devastated by the forest fires and such of that nature. So this is a YouTube channel I found. It's called Cali in a Minute. And apparently the young man does these TikToks, I'm sorry, LA in a minute, not California, LA in a minute. So he's really niche down. And it's a quick video discussing Altadena, which I thought was super cool because I didn't know much about it until Cali Girl actually reached out to me. She sent me the video, so there's no crime committed there. And I said, hey, you know what? I'm going to do a little quick reaction to this and maybe talk a little bit about it, especially being a Southerner. I don't understand a lot of the things that we experience in different parts of the country because they just do them differently. So with no further ado, let's jump on it. Let's go. Let's go.
What is up this year? LA in a minute. And this is an episode I wish I would have covered sooner. I want to talk about Altadena, a beautiful unincorporated community nestled in the foothills of the San Gabriel Mountains. Altadena has a special history as a home for families seeking to escape LA's early racial barriers to build thriving communities. And it's also the home of the first land return to LA's indigenous peoples. Altadena, my heart truly goes out to you and your community. Let's get into it. Altadena is an independent, unique, and charming neighborhood, and also one of the most important neighborhoods in Los Angeles for African-American history and culture. An unincorporated area in Los Angeles County, Altadena long served as a refuge for Black families who were able to settle in the area, one of the few LA areas exempt from redlining and restrictive housing policy. The area itself was originally inhabited by the indigenous Jajamonga tribe before Spanish settlers arrived in the late 18th century. The land that would become Altadena was part of Rancho San Pascual, a Mexican land grant established in 1834. The land subsequently changed hands a few times, but its history as Altadena proper began in 1880 when brothers John and Frederick Woodbury purchased 937 acres, naming their portion of the land the Woodbury Ranch. Around the same time, in the nearby fertile foothills, a man named Byron O. Clark owned an orchard where he sold trees and plants, and he called his nursery the Altadena Nursery. That was the inspiration for the Woodbury brothers to subdivide their land and call it Altadena. The word Alta means upper in Spanish, and Dena referenced its higher elevation compared to nearby Pasadena. Development was initially slow due to an economic downturn in the late 1880s. But with the construction of Thaddeus Lowe's Mountain Railway connecting Los Angeles to Altadena and the mountains beyond, Altadena became a bona fide tourist destination. The newly sprouted community immediately began to attract millionaires from the East, including Andrew McNally, the printing magnate, and George Gill Green, a patent medicine entrepreneur. The area's charms appealed to more millionaires, including newspaper moguls William Scripps and William Kellogg, and author Zane Grey, who built mansions and formed what became Millionaires Row on Mariposa near Santa Rosa Avenue. From there, Altadena was the beneficiary of the Great Migration, where many African Americans moved west to escape the Jim Crow South. Altadena's open spaces and relative affordability compared to neighboring Pasadena made it an attractive destination. And by the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, a vibrant Black community had taken root, overcoming redlining and the restricting housing covenants to create a rich cultural and social network. Altadena developed a reputation as a haven for Black professionals, educators, and creatives. Notable figures such as Willa Beatrice Brown, the first Black woman in the United States to receive a commercial pilot's license, and artist Charles White called Altadena home, cementing its status as a mecca in Los Angeles for African Americans. Essential institutions emerged, including churches like Altadena Baptist Church, community organizations, and cultural events that fostered a sense of togetherness and pride for everybody. The post-World War II era brought significant expansion to Altadena as economic growth and GI benefits fueled a housing boom, filling most of Altadena's remaining open land. And by the 1950s, Altadena's population was just under its current level of 43,000. Then the area known as Altadena Meadows became one of the first middle-class African-American neighborhoods in the region and became an important site for African-American leaders, activists, writers, performers, and visual artists to build a community and make professional connections.
So this is very interesting. Though I totally get it. I'm, I'm I'm not a city planner, so I don't fully understand how. Because I mean, these guys you heard in the beginning, they bought this land for like nothing. Now I've heard people say that if their insurance pays them $3 million, they might not be able to build a house in Altadena. That is wild. I'm only wondering if this might be just like many people who started in Altadena moved from the Jim Crow South. If you're given, if your insurance pays you a certain amount and you find that you can't build that house in Altadena, but you could build it in another community in another part of America, and maybe you know carry that Altadena spirit somewhere else, and reestablish and reroute somewhere else. I wonder, would that be better than trying to fight to stay in Altadena? I'm not saying that you should just roll over and take 10 cents on the dollar. I'm only saying I'm wondering if that might be because I'm hearing this story and it sounds encouraging, but my goodness, in the morning, the things I've heard about how expensive it was to live there, and now that you're going to have to build there in this current economy, I, it's like, hey, that money will go far in Oklahoma. That money will go far in Mississippi. If you get $3 million for your house and you just decide to move your family, y'all already gone. You're already moved. I wonder would that help? I don't know, man. This is such a sticky wicket. I don't know what to do. But I love to hear what y'all think about it. Let's keep it going. Let's go.
That legacy continues through today, including one of the definitive voices in LA's culinary scene, Mona Holmes, who was born in Altadena. As such, Altadena has been known for its diversity and its strong sense of community. It's important to note also that Altadena is the final resting place of Owen Brown, an abolitionist and the last surviving participant in the 1859 slave revolt on Harper's Ferry, Virginia. Perhaps more than anything to the outside world, Altadena is renowned for its natural beauty, including the multiple hiking trails that underlie the outdoor spirit of its community residents. And perhaps best incorporating that community spirit is the home of the original Christmas Tree Lane, a 0.7-mile stretch of Santa Rosa Avenue lined with deodar trees that has been a holiday attraction since 1920, the oldest large-scale outdoor Christmas lighting venue in the world. And in 2022, Altadena became the locale of the first land return to the Tongva since the arrival of the Europeans in the Los Angeles basin area, after a resident donated her 1-acre property to the Tongva Conservancy, marking the first time in nearly 200 years that the Tongva had land in Los Angeles County. However, this vibrant community now faces a new and devastating challenge. In January of 2025, the Eaton Fire erupted, fueled by Santa Ana winds gusting up to 100 miles an hour, burning more than 15,000 acres and destroying over 1,000 structures. Altadena will rebuild. Their community is too strong not to. But if you could give anything in the meantime, there are many resources online. But please donate money or open your doors to any families that have been displaced by these horrible fires. Altadena is, after all, one of the most historic, beautiful, and culturally significant areas in all of Los Angeles. The story of Altadena is one of perseverance in the face of adversity, whether it's overcoming racial barriers or battling natural disasters. And as the community looks to the future, it'll draw strength from that rich history and diverse population and work together to rebuild and reinforce the bonds that have made Altadena a unique and vibrant place to call home. All right, LA, it's been a minute.
All right. So shout out to LA in a minute. Seemed like a pretty dope channel. I'll definitely be checking them out more. And yeah, I just want to hear what y'all think about it, man. What should they do? What should, if you've been negatively impacted, if you've been ravaged by these fires, you, your family, or whatnot like that, let me know. I would gladly give you an opportunity to try to bring more awareness to this because that's the best I can do over here in Georgia. But yeah, it's been a really wild week, and I'm praying for you all that not only will you find peace, but also that you'll find some level of stability and some level of restoration, whether it be completely being made whole or whatever. I don't know, man. It just seems wild. But shout out to Cali Girl, who's been a fantastic commenter in the chat. Hopefully this will be a blessing to you to look over and let us know, like, how does this work? Would you be willing to say, hey, 9, 10, 20 of my neighbors are all moving to a part of Louisiana, or 9, 10, 11 of my neighbors were moving to a part of Texas, or whatever that nature, and it's just going to start over again there because it's just, or is it too expensive? Maybe I was told something wrong too. So there's that as well. But let me know. I appreciate you all rocking with me. Thank you so much for liking the videos. Thank you so much for being engaged in the conversations and the discussions of the best live chat on the internet. And most importantly, thank you so much for helping me hit my goal of 50,000 subscribers by the end of April. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And until next time, grace and peace.
Did you know that I can see you?